Hey, and welcome to Espresso Talks, brought to you by Vivit. We've got a very special episode here, hosted by board member Bob Cruz, and we'll be continuing the Women in Tech theme with Teri and Iris, who are both members of the staff community for Vivit. So we're going to go straight in, and I'm going to hand over to Bob. So go ahead, Bob.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bob Cruz. I am very proud to be the Board of Director Community Chair for Vivit. And for those of you that don't know, Vivit stands for Viv, which means live, and IT, so Live IT. We are an independent user group of Microfocus. I am exceptionally proud to introduce Teri Sarallo and Iris Boers with me today for our podcast. And we're going to share with you all about Vivit and the community and how we promote advocacy, community, and education. Welcome, Teri and Iris.
Hello, Bob.
Teri, if you wouldn't mind taking a couple of minutes and just introducing yourself to everybody, that would be great.
Sure, thank you. I'm Teri Sarallo, and I'm with Vivit out of the Chicago area in the United States. And I work with our Americas local user group leaders, as well as our special interest group leaders to bring content to our Vivit community.
And
Hi.
Iris?
Yeah, hi. I'm Iris Boers, and I'm the counterpart of Teri, and I'm from Europe. I'm from Germany, so I'm sitting here over in Europe doing the same, supporting Vivit, our leaders of the local user groups, as well as the leaders for the special interest group. And I joined Vivit last year, so I'm a pretty new member, but I'm an enthusiast since I started working for Vivit in October last year.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Iris. Thank you, Teri. So as you can all see, we are from all over the globe. Teri is up in the Chicago area. Iris is over in Germany, and I'm located down in Florida in the Tampa Bay area. So again, welcome. A little bit about Vivit. So we are an independent user group community that we assist to microfocus and get like-minded professionals together. We've been around for over 25 years. I myself have been a Vivit co-leader in Florida for a good 8 years now, and I've been on the board of directors for almost 3 years now. So you know, one thing about Vivit is we promote all of the microfocus solutions. As I mentioned, independent, part of OpenView, Microfocus, and the previous HPE, which started with Mercury Interactive. And Teri and Iris, I might be forgetting a few, so feel free to interject, please. But you know, one of the things I want to ask you, Teri, and also you, Iris, we'll start with you, Teri. Why would an individual want to become part of Vivit? And by the way, everybody, we're going to be talking about LUGs, local user groups, and SIGs, special interest groups. And membership to Vivit, 100% free, complimentary, so no charge. So Teri, over to you. Why would somebody want to become a member of Vivit?
Sure, Bob. Well, the way I think of Vivit as an association is it helps individual members, but it also helps that company that they may be a part of, or if they're a consultant, for instance, or if they're a partner. What we are is a team of like-minded people, a community of 30,000 strong globally, and those are your resources. You can tap into this knowledge base, this peer-to-peer interaction, virtually, face-to-face, whatever might be most effective for you, and really just help learn about the Microfocus tools to maximize your investment in their software. Learn from your peers as opposed directly just from the vendor.
Excellent points, excellent points. And we have local user groups all over the world, over in Europe, over in APJ area, over in the United States. And it's always just fantastic getting, like you said, like-minded individuals together to share their knowledge and their thoughts on the different Microfocus solutions. And Iris, what about you? Why would you say that an individual would want to become part of Vivit?
Yes, so from my point of view, I would say, you know, most of the companies, whether you are a manufacturer or you are a Fortune 100 company, at least one part of their infrastructure will rely on a micro-focused product. And with now getting those infrastructures more complex and the products more combined and interacting with each other, I think it's hard for the people to get their knowledge only out of the support books and support community forums, which are provided maybe by the vendor themselves. And so they need to get experience from their peers, and they need to get this exchange of what maybe are the challenges they are facing today when they are using the tools. And I think that's the most important thing for joining such a user group. You will meet with your peers. You will get the knowledge out of the best practitioners, and you not only get the information what is the sweet part out of the product, you also see the bad and the ugly, which is maybe not working really well, which is normal when you are using software tools. And I think that's the most important thing. The people will learn to overcome challenges. They learn from each other what's the best practice scenarios, what's working well. And I would say that's, from my point of view, that's the most important thing, why the people should join and should become a member of such a user group.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And you know, one of the things I want to make sure that all of us at Vivit share with the audience here, by the way, is we absolutely hope that you and all your friends are doing well during crazy times. And you know, as we're talking about just why it's so beneficial to be part of Vivit, one of the things just these chaotic times remind me of is that it just really benefits us all to be part of a community. So one of the things with our LUGs, our local user groups, and our SIGs, our special interest groups, is that they are virtual. So we at Vivit are all working so hard, the staff, the board, all of the members, to bring that virtual community together. So that's another reason why you would want to be part of Vivit. So we touched upon it a little bit, but let me ask even, and we'll fine tune it a bit more. And Iris, I'll start with you this time. What would you say are some of the key benefits of belonging to Vivit?
Yeah, like I already said, Bob. So for me, it's really that you will meet your peers within your local base in your region. So when I'm talking here from Europe, so you know, we are here at a continent with several languages, and sometimes it's for the users, it's not even easy to describe their problems maybe in a foreign language. So if they are belonging to a local user group, they can be sure everybody is talking the same language, and they can exchange in their mother language, which is maybe sometimes, even if we all are familiar with English, but sometimes it's maybe easier to talk in your local language, and that is something. And then also regarding to the challenges, every market has his own problems, his own regulations, and that's also something when we are talking here, especially in Europe, it makes it so beneficial for someone belonging to a local user group, where you know we are all sitting in the same boat, we are doing the same problems, we are struggling with the same problems in the market. And I think that's another point which makes it so beneficial for someone to join a local user group, to meet up really with your peers, with the experts in your region.
That is an excellent point, that local user groups are just that, they're local. So all of those like-minded individuals we've been talking about are able to share problems that are common to that area and that job market and whatnot. Great point, Iris. And Teri, what would you say are some of the key benefits?
Yeah, to add to that, one thing that people should understand, our membership, that number that we shared, comprises not only technicians, practitioners, decision makers, people using those micro-focus tools every day, but there's also partners and resellers, value-added resellers in that mix, as well as micro-focus employees. All of them can be Vivit members. And so what happens when you have a face-to-face, or even now that they're virtual, these user group meetings, all of a sudden you're tapping into all those resources. So for a partner, you might also be engaging, you're networking, you're meeting other people, and maybe there's some business opportunities that may come out of that meeting. You know, after the meeting, they get together, etc. And now all of a sudden they realize they can help this company. So it's beneficial to the partner. Microfocus is hearing firsthand from those users, you know, what needs to be done, or what enhancements do they want down the road, or, you know, so Microfocus is taking that information back to, you know, their product developers. So it's this incredible three-way exchange of information. So not only does the member that use the tools benefit so much, but really everyone within our ecosystem at Microfocus benefits from that peer-to-peer and knowledge exchange.
Yeah, and one point I would like to add here is so for me, you know, I'm not a technical person, so I'm coming more from the marketing side. But taking a look to software products, they are often for me like a Swiss knife model. So they can be used in several different ways. And if you are using if you are joining a user group, then you can get an inspiration of how your peers and are using the tool, and you may get some ideas what you else can do with the software you have already licensed, and that's also something. That's what I always heard when I got the feedback from our user meetings, that a lot of our members are telling us, hey, we never thought about to use this software in this way, like the other member was doing it. And this kind of inspiration that makes it maybe also so unique.
Excellent points by both of you. And, you know, one of the things that I would add, we've been talking a lot about community, but the other thing I want to make sure we remember, because Vivit, I mean, if you take a look at our logo, it's that triangle, which for those of you that know geometry, the arch and the triangle are the two strongest geometrical figures out there. So, I mean, that shows strength. So we've also got advocacy. So I'm also CEO of Checkpoint Technologies. I am also president of a local TBQAA, Tampa Bay Quality Assurance Association. There have been times where we've combined our user group meetings, which is just phenomenal, because our particular user group, we talk about the ITOM solutions, but we also talk about the ADM. But the advocacy of, you've got partners there, you've got end users, you've got strategists, and then you've got Microfocus representatives. So there's advocacy. So it's outstanding, because when, you know, when a customer says, oh man, wouldn't this feature be great in UFT or Load Runner, then we at Vivit can help advocate and get that word up there to Microfocus. And then the other thing obviously is education. We've got an education on the board of directors, an education chair who does a phenomenal job. And we're all about teaching and learning from each other, because all of us together are smarter than any other, you know, any of us. So great points, Teri and Iris, thank you. The other thing, and I know we're going to share a slide at the end with some great information from everybody, but Teri, how would somebody interact and become part of Vivit utilizing the free membership?
Sure. And one thing to point out, you can absolutely just become a member, but just like anything in life, you get out of it what you put into it. So just being a member, you know, that's fine. And, you know, but really engage is how you're going to maximize and really get the best out of the association. And the way you can do that, like we said, first and foremost, join up with your local user group. If there isn't one right in your geography, we'll give you links on our website where you can find that. Most of the times they're within a couple hours distance, but oftentimes too, even if they're meeting again, hopefully someday face to face, There's often still a virtual aspect. Maybe it's too far for you to drive. Here in Chicago, we have people that come from Bloomington and, they take the train in, but if that's not practical, we provide a web link so that those in the remote areas of the state can still join that typically held in Chicago meeting. So first and foremost, join your local user group. And then based on the tools that you are familiar with or use, as well as different themes, cultural, like a DevOps special interest group, align with those special interest groups. You can join, there's over 20 of them. You can join as many as are relevant to your area of expertise. And that way you'll have information fed to you from Vivit on when there are timely and relevant things happening, webinars or face-to-face meetings, or a podcast, for instance, that is around that content. And I like to say, one of my members who became a leader for Vivit and is now considering running for the board, he said, my career grew up in Vivit. I started as a practitioner. I worked for a company and you were my resource. I used your tools and, your webinars and things like that to learn. He goes, then I felt like it was time for me to give back, and he became a local leader for me. And now he helps others that were in his environment. And he actually said it had given him the network and the confidence to now become, he started his own value-added reseller business. So I said, his career grew up in Vivit. And I think that's a great way to think of us.
That's excellent points. Yeah, outstanding, Teri. And Iris, what would you add to that? For somebody to interact, especially over in Europe and whatnot, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, so maybe that's a little bit different. So and what I can add here from a European perspective. So we have some of our really active user groups, for example, in Germany, which is split off in different regional groups. So in case that we are going back at some time, hopefully, to face-to-face events. So especially in Germany, we can provide to 6 regions in Germany face-to-face local user group meetings. But even if it is not possible for a member to join those meetings, that's no problem, as we will do follow-up recordings, as we will do follow-up reports. So in case that you couldn't make it to join either virtually or a face-to-face event, it's no problem, as long as you will be engaged, like Teri already said, and opted in all our correspondence. You will get the information, the emails, and you can then definitely request a recorded meeting, or you can see the summary reports and download the slides. So that's what I would like to add here. So it's always a good thing. Not if you're not able to join it personally, you definitely will have the chance to see on demand what's happened, and so you are always up to date, as long as you are ensured that you are really engaged, not only personally, but also with the website, with our portal.
Great point. So everybody remember that right now, quick, take a pen, take a pencil, make a little note, join Vivit today, free membership, and then also follow us on LinkedIn so that you get all these notifications. When you interact with us, remember, not only use the knowledge base, this incredible pool of resources, but the other thing you want to do is contribute to it. Also, don't feel like you just need to be a member. We are always looking for fantastic, motivated leaders. And I want to tell you something, as an employer, as a CEO of my company, when I interview potential candidates for my company, when they tell me they're part of a user group like Vivit or Tampa Bay Quality Assurance Association, I just get thrilled, because that shows a passion. Because at the local user group meetings, not only do we talk about the solutions, but we talk about the underlying processes and strategies. So in other words, when we're talking about UFT or ALM, we're not just talking about the tools, we're talking about quality assurance and software testing. The SIGs, the special interest group, those are more focused, exactly like it sounds, and just some excellent speakers and presenters on that. And then we also have, you know, the virtual customer days. And we are currently in the process of planning something for late December, right, Teri? Sometime in mid-December. So be on the lookout for that. But, you know, this has just been a great conversation, Teri and Iris. With that, Teri, any parting thoughts that you'd like to share with everybody?
Yeah, so especially right now that everything has moved virtual, and if you're not familiar with Vivit especially, you can actually register for a community event, user group meeting that is virtual now without even being a Vivit member. Test it out, especially if you're considering the Micro Focus tools. Learn, you know, listen in to what your peers are saying about those tools and help make those decisions for your company. But definitely get engaged. It's especially right now a great way to interact with people, even virtually. And we really try to make it, we use a platform so that people can come off mute, they can share their webcams just like this, so that they feel like they are face-to-face in a restaurant, let's say. So definitely just give us a try.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Iris, any last minute words of wisdom for the group?
Yeah, so from my point, I would like to encourage all the people who may have any unanswered questions and they would like to have them discussed during the next upcoming LAG meeting or SIG meeting. They can be free and they can share their thoughts and their questions and their topics they would like to have to discuss always with the leaders or with Teri and myself, and we will bring it up to the leaders, and so it could be then on agenda point for the next upcoming meeting. So what I would like to say is, you as a member, you can decide in which direction the meetings should go in future. So it's up to you what you would like to have to discuss, what you would like to have to be demoed maybe by Micro Focus. Come to us, write it down, send us an email, go to the leaders. We are always open, and so it's yeah, you make your own meeting. So that's maybe the most important thing. Yeah.
Very true. It's to word a little bit differently. If you were to join us at a local user group meeting here in the Tampa Bay area, and then go to something in Chicago, and then over in Phoenix, where the leader is Mark Herbert, or something in Germany with our team there, in all likelihood, you would see very different meetings, but all of them would be absolutely phenomenal and very informative. So with that said, we're going to close things out. We're going to show you a slide with some great information on how you can join as a free member to Vivit. Contact any of us. We love questions. And also, please, please, please stay safe, stay well from all of us at Vivit. Thank you so much. Bye now. And thank you, Teri and Iris. Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.